So today on the inbound receiving, we'll go through some of the scenarios like how to receive the items at the dock by the warehouse and the worker doing the visual inspection, and then finally mobile app, how it gives the intelligently, it gives the put away instructions to the worker. Okay, we can see those things, and finally go paperless. And finally post the product receipt by the warehouse for whatever the put away was done. So if we see the flow for the inbound receiving, let's take an example over here. Normally suppliers sends the advanced shipping notice to the procurement team or the warehouse, whomever in contact. So for now, in our example, we are thinking that procurement team will get the advanced shipping notice details from the supplier, and buyer can key in the ASN details to Dynamics, and thereafter how the warehouse manager monitors the shipments that are going to receive and plan for the fragmentation. Okay, and finally when the shipment got arrived in the warehouse, okay, what are the steps, how the how the visual inspection can be done using mobile app. Okay, and if the worker has accepted, okay, so if the worker has accepted the visual inspection, so in the mobile device would be giving the instruction to move it to the storage location. Otherwise, mobile device will instruct the worker to move the items to the return location. So you see how the mobile device will be instructing it. And then finally, after whatever the items are received in the warehouse, we'll be making the posting the product receipt. And after that, finance can do the two-way matching, comparing the quantities and the prices that were received, and finally post the invoice. Based on the authorizations or the roles and responsibilities assigned to him, he can see only his options, so that even the data will be very limited as per the roles they have. Okay, so now we will step into our warehouse management module. As we discussed, we'll be going through the inbound. Okay, I'll just project the slide once again. So if we see here, procurement team receives the ASN and they key in the ASN. And finally, warehouse manager monitors the receiving shipments. We can monitor. I will show all those things. Okay, first we'll go a step how the buyer can key in the ASN. So coming to the Dynamics 365, I can give the access to the buyer to create the loads. Okay, so, sorry for that. For creating the loads, I can use the warehouse module, warehouse management module. Okay, so we will see how the buyer can create the loads. Okay, for this buyer, I can give the access to the buyer or the warehouse supervisor to create the loads. I can go to the load planning workbench and see the respective purchase orders. Okay, here I'm having the purchase order lines tab. I can see the lots of purchase orders over here, the open purchase orders. Okay, so here I can select the purchase orders for which I got the intimation from the supplier for which I'm getting the shipment. Okay, so I'm selecting a couple of purchase orders just for an instance. Okay, and then I'm creating a load. So my shipment is coming in a 20 feet container. Okay, I can create the 20 feet container over here. Select the 20 feet container. And if there is any partial quantities, I can update over here. Then click OK. So a load got created over here. If I click the load ID, I can still update more details like estimated time of arrival, okay, or load arrival date and time. I can update it, okay. So these are my load lines, okay. And to key in the advanced shipping notice details, I can go to the packing structure. I can key in the shipment number, like let's say, click OK. Now I can select the items that are coming in the load or the container or the shipments. I can select all the items over here and click add to the ASN items. So my ASN got created now. Okay. Now this is the work by the buyer or the warehouse supervisor on getting the details from the supplier. So in this shipment, I'm getting all this details. So this is the advanced shipping note, and under that advanced shipping note, I'm getting these items. Okay. So this is the mobile device application. So on the mobile device, I'm having the inbound folder where the worker can make the mobile operations on the warehouse. Okay, so Dynamics would be giving the instructions to the worker by on this app. Okay, so he can give his credentials, his user ID and credentials. So once I logged in, it will show all the operations that I can take over in the warehouse. So even if I want to show only the specific operations, let's say inbound operations to a particular worker, I can do that. I can create a separate structure and assign to that worker, so that worker can see only the inbound operations and he won't be outbound, or the other inventory options won't be available for him. Okay, for now we will go to the inbound. So on the inbound, I need to make the receiving by the advanced shipping notice. Okay, I'll go to the advanced shipping notice receiving. And before going here, I just want to show once again, we will just see the work that got created for the advanced shipping notice. Sorry. Now, okay, coming back. So advanced shipping notice has been created, and in the warehouse, I'm going to receive today I have received the shipment from the supplier. So I need to receive the shipment. I can click the ASN receiving. I can scan the advanced shipping note. Okay, ID. So if you see here, whatever are there on my advanced shipping notice, those items mobile app is already showing over here. So worker can validate the items on the list and click OK. Work got completed. So what it's going to do with the things that work got completed means. So let's go to the Dynamics now, and we will see what happened. So I'll go to the all loads. Now, just loading. Yeah. On the advanced, so we have created the advanced shipping notice. So we will go to this here. And this is the advanced shipping notice that we have created earlier. So if I come here and see the work, system has created the work for the items that are there on my advanced shipping notice. So I have received the 2 items in my receiving dock. These are in the receiving location. As the items are multiple, it is not showing here in the instruction. So whereas on the put, as it needs to be moved to FL001, the A0001 item 6 feet cables, it's showing here. And at the same time, about the FL002 location, we need to move the 12-inch cable, 12 feet cable, sorry. So now let's go and see how I can do this operation on the mobile device. So this is the work got created. In between, if we see, we have got an option for quality check. We'll see how it will work. At the same time, we are saying go paperless. So on the mobile app, I can see an option called Open PO Work. So the worker can click this and see all the Open PO works over here. Okay, so and then we can see the works that are all open. So worker can select any of the work for his choice. Click OK. And now if we see here, this is the same work that got created for our ASN. So worker can go reach the receiving location and pick the ASN. Okay, on the pallet wherever he see the items from the advanced shipping notice, he can identify them and pick those items. Okay. Now, this is for the quality check. So here, if worker can see an option, if he needs to reject, he can reject the items, or otherwise, okay, he can accept that. Okay, I'm accepting this. So as the worker has accepted the quality by the visual inspection, now it is showing to move the items to the FL001. He has kept the FL001, item set FL001. Now the next instruction, put instruction, is being projected on the mobile device screen. So now it is showing to move the 12 feet cables to FL002. So you see, the put away has been completed. If I come here, my inventory was moved to the FL001 and FL002. So this is how the mobile device helps. Okay, so from the receiving, nobody has instructed the worker to move the items to the FL001 or FL002. Dynamics, by the intelligence, where to move the items, it has given the instruction. It can be by, like, if we need to identify the existing location for this inventory, Dynamics can do that. Or if Dynamics needs to suggest an empty location, it can do that. Or if Dynamics wants to, like, if the warehouse wants to move the items to the particular zone, Dynamics can help that. So that's how we can configure the Dynamics, and Dynamics can support further operations. Finally, after completing the put away, okay, so the next thing is receiving. Okay, so now I'm on the work. I will close the work. I can go to the same ASN, the load that got created. From the load, if I see here, the work status is 0%. I will refresh this. Now it's got completed to 100% and load status is in process. Okay. Now I need to receive this. Okay. I will confirm the inbound shipment. And then I'll refresh this. So I see the product receipt is not enabled. So the reason is the purchase order has not been confirmed. So I can go to the purchase order from here itself. I can inform the procurement team that it's not confirmed. So Dynamics is very strict. Okay. So we need to do some of the operations before doing this. So I'll confirm the purchase order. And after confirmation, I can go back to my load and I will refresh this. So now I can see the product receipt enabled. So if I have the multiple purchase orders in my load, I can post the product receipt for all the purchase orders at one shot. So now I'll click as system is suggesting, regardless whether you now process the product receipt or not. Okay, will get confirmed. Orders will get confirmed. Okay, so now I have received these items and I'm posting the product receipt. Now we have seen the things how it works. For if we go to our back to our process flow, we have seen what it's done on accepting. Okay, move the items to the storage. Now I will take one more example. Instead of ASN, I will make a purchase order receiving and I will show reject the items and how system will act, we will see. So I'll go to the procurement and sourcing to identify a open purchase order. I'll take a sample of purchase order over here. And even the purchase order is in approved status. I'll confirm the order. Now, let's go back to the warehouse mobile device app. We will make the purchase order receiving and we will see how the system is generating the work. So now I will scan this order number. Now we will see how to receive this purchase order. Okay, let's say vendor is having a label. Okay, he has a label in the GS1 format, where on the label it is having the barcode containing the item number, quantity, batch number. Okay, so now let's say vendor has sent a shipment and on the shipment I'm having the labels from the vendor in GS1 format. So on GS1 format I'm having the item detail, quantity detail, batch number detail. Okay, so now I will show how to scan this and receive the item. So first we will go with the purchase order receiving GS1 item. So now we will see the vendor has sent the items with GS1 barcode format. Now how the worker can receive the item by scanning this GS1. So I have created the purchase order receive GS1 menu item. I'll click this. Now I need to give the input of the purchase order number. So I'm giving the purchase order number. Now in the scan item, okay, I can scan the GS1. So now, as I don't have the scanner in my hand, I'm just giving the detail of the GS1. So now, if you see here, this value will be based on the mobile handheld device I'm using. So this by default, we need to configure on Dynamics based on the handheld device that warehouse is using. Okay, and after that, with this character, the 01 is the prefix for the GT, and the 10 is the prefix for the batch number, and 30 is the prefix for the quantity. Okay, and this tilde symbol is a separator between each field. In the scan item, I'm giving all these details. Now, Warehouse mobile app will match these values and fill all the values in one shot. So mobile app will fill all the values based on the separators and the prefixes. You see here, it has updated the 20 quantity. Okay, 20 quantity were updated, item was updated. Okay, and it's not having the batch in my system. Though the vendor has sent the batch, I'm not following the batch. So it has ignored the batch. Click OK. Work completed. Now my receiving got completed. System should generate a peak work now. Let's go to Dynamics and check the peak work. So if you remember in earlier transaction, I moved A000 to 12 feet cable to FL002. So even now, system is intelligently showing us to move the items to FL002. Now let's process this work. Let's do the put away. I'm going to the open PO work. I'm going to this work 397, and I can see the 20 pieces. Add the receiving dock, worker can pick this and then click OK. Now this is the quality check. So at this point of time, I'm rejecting the quality. Rejected. Wow, system has shown us intelligently to move the items to the return location. If you see, the work is put away work was generated to move the items to the FL002. But as the worker has rejected the item, it was asking to move him to the returns instead of FL002. Perfect. That's all. So the put away was done. And if I go back, we can make the product receipt. So for whatever the quantity I received or I did the put away, I can make the product receipt. So if I'm having the vendor delivery note number, I can update the same over here, and I'm receiving the 20 quantity. So if you see the registered quantity, so registered quantity means whatever I received in my warehouse. Now my purchase order has been received. If I refresh this, we can see the status. So it is in the received status. So that's what it is on the inbound process.